Hey, Liverpool One Church life groups. I'm so glad that you're connecting into a small group at Liverpool One Church. Huge thank you to all of our hosts this evening. Thank you for opening up your homes and just facilitating our life groups. We love you. We're in a series called At the Movies, and it is getting exciting in church. This last Sunday, we looked at Hacksaw Ridge, which is all about Private Desmond Doss. And for those of you that were in church on Sunday, you will know that he signed up to join the United States military, but as a conscientious objector, which meant that he was never going to hold a gun or a rifle, but he signed up as a medic, and he was so intent on being willing to help people because he was adamant he wanted to serve his country. I guess that what the movie shows is what many of you will have seen on Sunday is there was a huge battle that took place on a ridge in Japan whereby Desmond Doss ended up saving and rescuing 75 people who surely would have otherwise died. On Sunday, we started to draw parallels with regards to how we are called today to live out our fellowship of Jesus. That even though we get to come to church and we get to sing the songs and see our friends, that is not the epitome of what being a Christian is all about. But actually, that if you're a follower of Jesus, you are called by God to be his hands and feet in all of the places and spaces that you go in. In fact, God doesn't want us to pray to him, God, would you reach more people? He places that objection onto every single one of us. That objective is something that he requires of every one of us, that we would be willing to say like that which the prophet Isaiah said when God was scouring the earth and asked the question, whom shall I send? Isaiah said, here I am, you can send me. In this Christmas season, that's really what I've been praying about just as your pastor. I've been praying that we would have a new sense of boldness and courage as we get inviting and get ready to bring people to church in December. I'm asking you to invite like crazy, especially around our production weekend, because we know statistically now, it's been proven from a survey that when people were asked, would they be willing to come to a church if they were invited, way more than half responded and said, yes, I would be willing if I were invited. In other words, we're hearing about what's being called in the UK as the quiet revival. It means that there is this rising temperature of people being inquisitive about our faith, but you, follower of Jesus, are you willing to ask the question and perhaps feel awkward and perhaps put your faith out there in a boldness and a courageous way like you've never have before? But will you be willing to answer that question and say, here I am, Lord, you can send me, and invite people to church, because who knows what God might do at the other end of your invitation. So for the start of Life Group tonight, I just want to ask honestly, what are the biggest barriers that you find? What do you struggle with the most when it comes down to inviting people to church? Because that's where I want us to get to this Christmas. Imagine what it would look like if we all just brought one or two people across all of our 5 production weekends. How incredible would that be? But what are the barriers that would stop you doing that? Have a wonderful evening, guys. Can't wait to see you next week for week 3 of At the Movies. And the movie's gonna be, I ain't telling you. Love you.